Hey guys, I'm Carrie, and in this video I'm going to be talking about how to use willpower to get yourself to stop overeating by not focusing on food and instead by focusing on your psychology. Let's get started. Really quick, for anyone who doesn't know me, my name is Carrie. I'm a psycho-spiritual wellness coach, and what that means is that I focus 100% on psychological and spiritual practices that can help you learn how to stop overeating and achieve your natural weight. My thing is that I don't talk about diet or exercise at all. Instead, it's 100% psychology and spirituality. It's been a while since I've made a video, and the reason why I'm getting started again is because I'm very inspired by a conversation I recently had with someone at the gym. I got started talking about psycho-spiritual wellness, and anytime I get started talking about it with someone that doesn't have a history with compulsive eating, they just don't get it. And so I was talking about some of my philosophies on how to master your psychology to get yourself to stop overeating, and this guy at the gym just interrupted me, and he was like, to get yourself to stop overeating, you just eat less. You just have to have willpower. And at that moment, I knew nothing I would say would make sense, because unless you have been in the grips of compulsive eating yourself, you're just never gonna get it. Because I believe that there is a large community of compulsive eaters, like my former self, that actually have a ton of willpower. Like, I feel like there's so much misunderstanding around this idea of willpower, because people see on the outside that there's overeating behaviors, night eating patterns, and they just think like, oh, just like don't eat less. Just like shut down your kitchen at 8 p.m. Obviously, that's what you need to do. Use smaller plates, have willpower. And these tactics might work if your compulsive eating was really just like an environmental factor. There are some people that can use tips like that and succeed. I think it's a very, very small population that can succeed that way, because the people that I am talking to, like you found my videos because you're probably searching something online about how to master the psychology of weight loss, or how to master the psychology of not overeating. And so anyone who is searching for that is a hard worker. Because if you are like looking to dive into the nitty-gritty, the hard part of mastering your psychology, getting to like the underlying reason why overeating is a problem, you're the person that I want to be talking to. Because you have willpower. You already have willpower, and I get so frustrated when people think that there's a lack of willpower, because there's so much willpower already. For example, one reason why night eating and overeating is a problem is because we adhere to eating rules that are far too strict all throughout the day. So we undereat all day, we try really hard, we white knuckle it to try and eat all the right things, and that's what leads to night eating. Because unless you've mastered your psychology, and unless you've addressed the underlying beliefs that are driving compulsive eating, it doesn't matter how much willpower you exert on your diet all day long, because it will just result in night eating. So, what is the solution then? You already have the willpower. You already have tons of willpower. Now, how can you use that to help stop overeating? It's very simple in spoken word, but it's a little bit harder to practice. So what I want to ask you to do is to, just for a while, make it like an experiment, maybe like a month-long experiment, of focusing your attention away from food and using your willpower to practice the stop, drop, and feel. If you're completely new to psycho-spiritual wellness, I really recommend watching my video on the stop, drop, and feel. I will link it fancy above, or I'll link it down below. It's one of my best tools to overcome compulsive eating. And the stop, drop, and feel involves feeling your feelings, tuning into yourself, labeling your feelings, and feeling your feelings whenever you want to eat when you're not hungry. That's just like the super simple summary of that. There's a little bit more that goes into it, so I really recommend watching the video. So what I want you to do is to to channel all of your willpower into developing your emotional awareness and emotional tolerance using the stop, drop, and feel. The stop, drop, and feel is extremely effective because emotional tolerance is a skill, right? The stop, drop, and feel is essentially you training in being uncomfortable and feeling that really heavy feelings that drive compulsive eating. Like when we do the stop, drop, and feel, like we're not messing around with small emotions. Like the emotions that drive compulsive eating, they're heavy. We're dealing with things like depression, anxiety, loneliness, embarrassment, and shame. And those are big emotions. So when you first start with the stop, drop, and feel, and you're first developing your emotional awareness and your emotional tolerance, it's going to be very uncomfortable at first. You might not be able to label your feelings at first. You might not be able to do it for very long at first, but it's like a muscle, just like willpower. You get better at it through practice. So for your month-long experiment, every time you want to eat when you're not hungry and you do the stop, drop, and feel, you're building your tolerance for discomfort. You're building your tolerance for feeling lonely, for example, without getting swept away by it. The stop, drop, and feel, it doesn't make the bad feelings go away, but by stepping back and creating space for those feelings, you take the edge off the compulsion. And when you take the edge off the compulsion, you have access then to free will. You can choose not to eat when you're not hungry, and there's no more compulsion driving that self-sabotage. So there you have it. That is how I think that you can use the willpower you already have to get yourself to stop overeating. It's by shifting your attention away from the food rules that don't work, right? This video is made for people who have already reached or are willing to consider the idea that diets don't work. And I've already made a video on that, which I will link above and or below. So the solution is turning your attention and your willpower away from food and turning it towards developing your emotional awareness and your emotional tolerance. This is one piece of the puzzle. There's a lot more that goes into psycho-spiritual wellness, but this is one of the most important pieces. I recommend starting here first. On my blog, I talk a lot about how to stop dieting and how to master your psychology. And for a lot of people who are compulsive eaters and compulsive food rule abiders and compulsive dieters, it's really hard to get yourself to stop straight off the bat. So what I recommend for a lot of people is to start first with emotional awareness and emotional tolerance. Don't even mess with your diet yet. Don't even mess with the food rules yet. You can keep the neuroses for now and just focus first on developing the emotional awareness and the emotional tolerance, and that's how you build a really strong foundation to continue this journey upon. I'm signing off. My name is Carrie. If you like what I'm saying here, please give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Also, if you're brand new to psycho-spiritual wellness, I really recommend downloading my free ebook. You can get to that down below. That ebook is a really great starter guide that dives more into the psychological and spiritual practices that go in along with psycho-spiritual wellness. And it will also put you in the loop on my Tuesday newsletter. I put a lot of love and care into what I send every Tuesday. It's one of my favorite things to do. So I hope you get in the loop there, and I'll see you guys next time.